12 de julio de 1997.
July 12, 1997. Two almost simultaneous blasts at the Capri and National hotels. 4 wounded. I set the rounds at the National and Capri hotels, both in the lobby, because it was my mission to set them up in the lobbies. He sets the 2 bombs and leaves. The news comes out and Raúl gets $4,000 for the 2 bombs, $2,000 each. Nobody helped me. I had no contact here. My only contact over the phone was with Chávez Abarca, who did call me regularly to check on everything. I returned after my doing so, and when he learned about it, that's it. Make sure of the description. No, I know. I'm only asking you to make sure of the description. Chávez wanted proof. He wanted me to go in and take pictures of the blast. But I examined the situation, and it would have been suicidal. August 4, 1997. A terrorist blast in the Meliá Cohiba Hotel. I arrived in Cuba and looked into the tourist facilities. I could decide what to do and what not to do and where. I visited several places and then chose the lobby of the Meliá Hotel. I set this explosive device at a corner in the lobby. I pretended to read the paper. As I took out the device and put it here. Then I looked around, took it again, and put it under the couch. Then I waited a few minutes, folded the paper, and left it on the table. In 1998, the ex-club of political prisoners, one of the extremist organizations led by the late Rolando Fernando Borges Paz, recruited and trained Juan Francisco Fernández Gómez from Villa Clara to blow up Cuban mausoleums. He chaired one of the mercenary groupings, and during one of the visits to Florida, he was given a password to welcome the terrorists bringing him the explosive devices to Cuba. As it is known, on June 10, 1998, Salvadoran citizen Otto René Rodríguez Llerena was arrested at the José Martí International Airport as he tried to enter the country with 2 of these explosive devices. He also carried a picture of Juan Francisco's granddaughter, given to him by his handler, Luis Faustino Clemente Posada Carriles, who had also showed him a picture of his contact in Havana, wearing a cap with the legend 100% Cuban. This was the password arranged by Borges Paz with Juan Francisco in Miami. Neither of the latter had been to El Salvador nor Otto René to Miami. Once again, the connection was out in the open. Through one of the messages with phony ink sent by Borges Paz to Juan Francisco and revealed with an ultraviolet lamp given to him in Miami, it was known that the criminal operation's name was Tia Ramona, and as late as February 27, 1998, it depended on the course of the trial of Raúl Ernesto Cruz León, arrested on September 4, 1997. Several organizations took part in this operation funded by the U.S. administration through the USA, the Somos Uno Project, the Democracy Institute, and the GAD. all of them on the receiving end of millions of dollars destined to the destruction of the Cuban Revolution. We have tools with lamps. You can write any message, a letter, or anything you want using a pen with phony ink. It's like an ordinary pen. Unfortunately for the enemies of the Cuban people, the dissident and terrorists they try to fabricate was Cuban security agent Felix. That's Ignacio Medina. Ignacio Medina organizes and leads his terrorist disciples. The Cubans know him by the aliases Bambi and Comisario Basilio, among others. But the real man is involved in serious crimes against our people. Luis Faustino Clemente Posada Carriles joined the CIA in 1961. He has conceived, arranged, and led in terrorist actions against Cuba and the life of Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro in various international scenarios. He's accountable for the bombing of a Cuban Airlines aircraft coming from Venezuela in 1976. A fugitive of the Venezuelan judicial system, he was involved in the Iran-Contra scandal. Arrested in Panama in 2000, where he was ready to carry out the assassination of Cuban President Fidel Castro. In 2004, he was pardoned by President Mireya Moscoso at the end of her term. In 2005, he resurfaced in Florida, under investigation and a retrial for illegal entry in the U.S. territory. But he lives free in Miami. He keeps on organizing actions against Cuba. I hold myself fully accountable for any action inside Cuban territory against the Havana regime. The article allegedly says, Mr. Posada, that soon there'll be very interesting news. Of course, what does that mean? That there are other sabotages are being hatched inside Cuba. If they do it again, I have to do the same, in fact. I don't regret anything. José Ramón Sanfeliu Rivera, whose brother was the owner and manager of the malt truck workshop. This is a repair shop in El Salvador. As I worked there for some time, we became friends. And then he introduced me to Posada Carriles in his office. I did not believe it until they showed me his book and the internet where Posada Carriles' true identity was confirmed. August 11, 1997.
Junta de Directores de la Fundación Nacional Cubano-Americana.
The board of directors of the Cuban American National Foundation publishes a boastful and cynical message presenting the hotel bombings as incidents of domestic rebellion which had been occurring throughout the island in the past weeks, with the outright and unreserved support of the Cuban American National Foundation.
Posada se alardeaba
Posada boasted that he had permission for everything he did. I don't know if that's true, but he said that to me. He said that he asked for CIA permission. He said it in the book, and several people like Ramon Sanfeliu had told me that he had been CIA. Posada had been an advisor in El Salvador, where people knew he was CIA, or a CIA agent, and he said that before any action he asked for CIA for the green light. I don't know how he did it, but once at the Radisson Hotel, he was at the phone, and then he told me, it's from the CIA. And it was at that time when they made a comment that we couldn't do anything because of the American elections. And nothing was done until the elections were over. Be it true or not, he told me, and nothing was done during the elections. In 2007-2008, while on trial for a huge cache of weapons intended for violent actions against our country, notorious terrorist Santiago Álvarez Magriñá, circulated by Cuba with an Interpol red alert, was funding the domestic mercenaries and using the U.S. diplomats in Cuba as couriers. Mission Chief Michael Plumlee and Robert Black, later appointed to the State Department Cuban desk. It was also through the mission that the mercenaries receiving the blood-tainted money sent by Álvarez Magriñá forwarded a letter of support to the court, not as a terrorist he really is, but as a fighter for Cuban freedom.